Tennessee's baseball coach, talking about the Vols baseball coach, has just made history. He's leaving for the Bigs. We'll tell you about it at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh, kids, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. Our girl Kylie's out and about. And here's the thing. We all do the work, as you guys know.
She went to Brown.
She did. You know, you're right. She went to Brown. We forget that sometimes, but it's good to know that she went to Brown. This time, though, take a step back, relax, because this time she's got a message for you fly-by-night liberals. No, you can't imagine. You want to know what happened there, Kylie? I'm going to tell you this. That lady went to school. She got involved in stuff. She went out and she got really rabble-roused like everybody else. And she took a bunch of pictures and she put the black square up and she praised everything. And then she got out of college and she grew up.
Yep.
And
grew up and wised up.
Realized, yeah, you know what? I got to deal with my own life. I got to pay off these bills. I got to do some stuff. And as much as that stuff sounds like it's fun, I can't do that anymore because I got a life.
And I don't think, being the woman not being friends with Kylie is a loss for the woman.
No. Especially after she got put on blast. Liberals. All right, coming up, hour number 2 of the program. Bunch of good stuff to get to that we didn't get to this hour. I promise it'll be a little bit more political, but still way funnier than normal. Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 997. Kids, our friend Kylie. Belle, where'd she go to school?
Brown. She went to Brown. Why did she go to Brown? She got a scholarship to White, but she didn't want to go there.
She got a scholarship to Cracker, but she didn't want to go to Cracker. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Empire's over.
The single greatest threat to America right now is white supremacy. And we need to stop acting like it's black people or brown people or immigrants. The average empire lasts 250 years, and let's face it, America is an empire. It's a series of states and territories controlled under a single president or authority. Yes, we have checks and balances. Yes, we have our other system. But point being, America is on the verge of collapse. And it's because it was built on a system that was never meant to sustain it. It was built on forced labor, kidnapping, violence to maintain the social order. If we want to improve what we have and actually preserve the country that we have, we need to literally completely eradicate white supremacy. As an ideology, it is so dangerous, so harmful, and that is where so many hate crimes stem from. Craziest thing is even realizing how many mass shootings and other mass acts of violence stem from white supremacy and hatred. That's why it irritates me how many politicians on the right, and honestly liberal politicians, are like, we need to be tough on crime, we need to be tough on crime. This is an ideology issue. This is an education issue, and it's the result of a system that allows white people to act however they want without consequence. And we need to start treating white supremacy like the real threat that it is.
Do you remember that time that you went outside and you're like, I'm going to do whatever I want with no consequences?
Yeah, and I did what I wanted, and then I got home and my mother whipped my ass.
That's right. You guys don't remember that? One time, Ken came into a radio station when he was younger, and the consequence was the old pastor guy told him he's going to hell. Consequences. He didn't even do anything wrong. I love her. She's great. She went to Brown, you see, which is an Ivy League school. It's the one that we don't really talk a lot about. I think more ladies go there than men. I feel like it's the kind of place that Animal House would be at. Even though that was filmed up in Oregon, in Eugene, I think. But still, guys, come on. White supremacy? This nation was built on kidnappings. I'm like, I think that's Colombia. Don't worry, we're bombing boats there, too. Our pirates. We got pirates everywhere. We're taking them all down. That's the liberal mind right there. Earlier, she hammered the left. Let's give her credit where credit was due. But she's got to keep it going. And this time, it was the right. We paid the price because we are built on, what was it again? White supremacy and kidnapping. So those are two things that happen. White supremacy and kidnapping. So if those things are things that you think that the empire should not be built upon, first of all, you're right. And secondly, empires usually only last about 200 plus years. We're doing pretty good, in the overall scheme of things, we're doing all right. You know why? Because our founding fathers said, let's not go the way of others. Let's figure out how we can get away from the way of others and try to do something different. We'll create a republic and we'll go from there. We'll have states' rights and all these kind of things. And yes, we're going to make it so it is tough to do things. Somebody asked me what I would do about the shutdown. It's simple. If I was the president, I'd tell everybody to get their butts in there, get something sorted out. It's that simple. Get something sorted out. What can you do to get something sorted out now? Because, you know what, somebody said, well, besides federal workers, there's a lot of people in line at food banks. That's not a good look either. And we know people are struggling. And by the way, a lot of times you go to food banks, they're not people that are homeless. People going through there have jobs. Some of them have two. Some of them barely can make ends meet with what they have, and they're just going there like it's not something that they're super proud of. But they got to do it. And the fact that we can do it in this country is wonderful. That being said, it's still not a good look in D.C. because understand D.C.'s this weird little, they call it the Beltway. It's its own little media world at times. And the media is looking and going, man, there's a lot of people outside at the food bank that normally wouldn't be. So that isn't a good look. And as we all know, we live at a time where looks and pictures and videos shape a lot of the narratives out there. So very interesting indeed. 3616 just text in about our girl. Said, and I quote, I guarantee you that woman is probably dating a brown or black person.
Mostly out of white savior complex.
Yeah, probably. That's it. Well, she's there to save him. You know what? You want to know why she's not? Because they don't want to hear her crap. They don't want to hear her crap because she probably treats them as if they're a victim. And all they wanted to do was go to dinner and watch a movie. That's why even the brothers aren't going out with her.
She talked through the whole movie telling him why he's being oppressed.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody said, I think she must have failed history, or maybe Brown didn't offer history as a course. No, I think it does. It depends, the history. It depends on what side of history we're looking at. Because remember, they do history different in college, especially nowadays. Coming up, speaking of crazy stuff, this is nuts. I got a couple stories about parents and crazy things that are going on. When did we become this nation? Because we're insane. That's why. We've lost the plot. We'll talk about that straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997. White Girl Wednesday, because it is White Girl Wednesday. Am I correct? Let's double check. Is it Wednesday? It is. White girl, we got her. She went to school somewhere. Where was that?
I think it was Brown.
She's going to tell us why the No Kings was so successful.
Hi, I'm Kylie, and here are 3 reasons the protests yesterday were massively successful and a huge deal. Reason number 1, this is the single largest mass protest in U.S. history. Over 2,600 separate protests took place across all 50 states, showing a level of unity that we have not seen to date. Reason number 2, there were people of all races, ages, and walks of life at these protests. There were unhoused people. There were wealthy people. In Chicago, J.B. Pritzker was here. Here's our governor. He was at the front and the center. It was truly beautiful to see 80-year-old grandparents marching in line with their children and their grandchildren. And number 3, this protest wasn't about a single policy. And that's what makes it such a huge deal, is because we are protesting a fundamental shift in the militarization of America. We are protesting the rise of fascism and authoritarianism, what has been seen as this concentration of power in the executive branch, ignoring checks and balances and challenging constitutional norms. Please spread the word. The protest was successful and it is working. Hopefully next we could do a mass boycott and or walkout of our jobs.
Walk out of our jobs. Mass protest. Why would you walk out on your job? What did your job have to do with it? I'm so mad at you, McDonald's, because of Donald Trump. I'm leaving. My accountant job can't handle this anymore.
Well, she was right. The protests work. We don't have a king now.
No.
Stop that.
In fact, they were so worried that they were going to get rid of the king, they decided not to even have one to get rid of. That sounds like it. This is twice now they've tried to push a king out there, and twice it has been repelled by many, many people. You know, when I saw the protests, you know what I saw? Older people and a lot of young people, not people in the middle. Very few of those. Because the young, they're up for anything on a Saturday, right? And the old, they're just angry at stuff right now, the old liberals. And for somebody who's 35, maybe when they were younger, they thought like that. But you know what? Their kid has a soccer game, and that's more important. So we're going to get to that. So there you go. I love the people who are said, you would poo-poo anything that Trump does. No, I was the one, by the way, who said, I think Trump should get a Nobel Peace Prize. All over that. The way that he's handled the border has been incredible. Absolutely incredible. I've said that from the beginning. Here's what I love. I love America. I love us people. I want us to be successful. I don't care about parties because parties, they're just corporations. I care about what's best for the American people, and I want the truth. That's it. That's what it should be. Some of you don't, because some of you care more about the how you win, and that's what you care more about. You care. Some of you, what do they call it? The Joker voter. Some of you want to see stuff burn down. You don't care how it is, and you want to see the other side suffer, even if it means you suffer, as long as they suffer. For me, I don't care. I want us to win. I want better from our government. There shouldn't be anything wrong with that. And when I make here's the funny thing too. When I make fun of Democrats, as we do all the time, I never hear one of you go, you shouldn't do that. It's not very nice.